Let's go to Perth now. The Prime Minister is speaking live, taking questions. He's talking about economic management.
Plus jobs. We're nearing that million mark, and we're confident that when the next figures come out, that will tip over the million new jobs created since we were elected. Now, that far exceeds any of the former governments. And a key to people's living standards is, of course, giving people who need a job, giving them that capacity. But secondly as well is the tax cuts for every taxpayer that we've delivered. So we want people to earn more and to keep more of what they earn. It's a conscious decision. My government, while we've been here I've been here for 4 days now. This is day 4 of my visit to WA. The visit to Collie was about jobs in renewables and the big battery that will power up to 860,000 homes through that storage that will be made available. In the defence area, we were down at HMAS Stirling, again about jobs. Jobs in this case in defence industry and maintenance. We announced 200 new apprenticeships. Jim Chalmers and Claire O'Neill were there opening new community housing. Again, that's about jobs in construction. That's what our $32 billion plan of Homes for Australia is about. Our visit to the TAFE and the schools is about good employment as well and creating those opportunities for people. So throughout my visit to WA, a theme has been creation, because we know that that is what Labor governments do. We want good, secure jobs, and the meetings we've had as well while I've been here with the business community has all been about jobs and job creation, whether it be the discussions I've had with the resources sector or the grain industry or others. It's all been focused on our economy, because it's a strong economy that then enables you to as well have the social reform that we want, assisting our youngest Australians through the early education system or our oldest Australians through aged care.
Were you surprised yesterday to have Ian Goodenough join you on your media opportunity?
No, I wasn't surprised. Ian Goodenough is the member, of course, for Moore. We, of course, will have a Labor candidate in the election, but I often will invite local members to show them respect. He was there.
They never take you up on that
Oh,
opportunity.
they do, actually. I was recently with Michael McCormack in the electorate of Riverina, and we were there commemorating the Cowra breakout. So I often do. I've been with a range of local members. Ian Goodenough's someone who I know through the Parliament, and someone who I think has been shabbily treated by the Liberal Party. I mean, you've got this bloke who shopped around for a seat, tried to run. He was a member for Stirling, then he tried to run for Moore, then he did run for Cowan, lost that seat, now he's shopped around for Moore. You know, that I think says a bit about his character. I think people want local members who actually are local and are committed to making a difference rather than shopping around for a seat because they think somehow they're owed it. Well, Ian Goodenough, I think, has been shabbily treated by his own party, and it's just one example of the chaos that is there in the modern Liberal Party. I mean, you've got in New South Wales, my home state, the debacle of not bothering to nominate for local government across more than 150 nominations not going in. Then you have a federal intervention with 3 people appointed, only one of them from New South Wales, Rob Stokes, but they forgot to ask him. So he's not available. I mean, this is a farce. If the New South Wales leadership of the Liberal Party has been dismissed for incompetence, how about you dismiss the federal leadership of the Liberal Party in the organisational sense for incompetence for appointing someone as an administrator who's not available and didn't know anything about it?
John Howard's had a crack at the Treasurer. John Howard's had a crack at the Treasurer. Is his commentary becoming less relevant these days?
I think John Howard criticises the Labor Party whenever he's asked, as long as the day ends in Y. It's a matter for him. I treat former Prime Ministers, including John Howard, in a respectful way, but I think it's becoming what it is, I think that's a matter for him to reflect, but it's pretty regular and it's not surprising.
Prime Minister, you mentioned economic figures are going to show Australians significantly tightening their belt. There's some analysis this morning that shows that your expenses were about $4 million over the past year. Do you need to tighten your belt further as well?
Look, I've seen that analysis. It comes out regularly, like clockwork. The idea, for example, one of the things that I've seen from the front is cars. If they think that the Prime Minister of Australia should drive themselves around, they should say that. I'd rather do that, frankly. To be honest, I'd rather do that. In today's world, we need security and we need these things to happen, and I think Australians know that, you know that, and so do most common sense Australians. I believe that we should, wherever possible, of course, minimise expenditure. I know the Coalition, I'm sure, push that out. They've been complaining that I haven't been on enough visits and have been calling upon me to go to places like the NATO summit and other events.
Prime Minister, you mentioned job creation has been a focus of your visit this week. We're in a set of Bullinghill now, which has regional communities that rely on the sheep industry. Have you met with any industry reps on live export this week during your visit?
I've met with industry reps in Canberra, and I've also met families in Kalgoorlie when I was there. The live sheep export industry, we said, in 2019 and repeated in 2022, that we'd set a timetable. We had a review. We've set that timetable. This is an industry that's worth $80 million, the exports a year. The money that we have on the table is at least $107 million for adjustment. We want communities to be looked after. I think that this is an industry, if you compare $80 million for live exports with $4 billion, which is what the sheep meat export industry is worth, I think that indicates where the industry needs to go. We want to make sure that people are looked after, and we want to work with industry on that.
There's only $70 million or $80 million out of it. You might think pennies in the dollar, but it's more than that. It's people's livelihoods, it's people's jobs. I mean, you're big on jobs.
Yeah, we are, and that's why in transitioning away from the live sheep meat export trade, live sheep trade towards the sheep meat export trade, we can create more jobs. One of the things about when you process, just like value adding, a future made in Australia across the board, I'm for value adding in Australia whenever you can, and that's how you create more jobs, not less jobs.
Are you worried though that the ramifications will be felt in this new seat, because it does encompass some large regional centres that rely on the trade?
The big trade in the sheep industry in Australia is for sheep meat export. It's actually, I understand that adjustments are hard, which is why we have that support available and why we are engaging. This has been, that's why also we've set a timetable going forward so that you can have that proper planning. But to be clear, the legislation was passed overwhelmingly through the House of Representatives and through the Senate. This is a decision that I believe has the overwhelming support of the Australian population.